what's up, Rich?
Chabrona, friend. Am I facing the wrong way? Do you need me vertical? I don't know how to do vertical.
It's all good. What's up?
Landscape.
Welcome.
Just hanging out here in my home.
Lil Puffy, how are you doing, sir?
I'm doing good.
How's the coronavirus? For life. NWO for life. How you doing?
I hope it's not for life. It feels like it's for life. I'm trapped here. Probably gonna get extended again. Oh, you went
upside
landscape
down
with me.
and into Thanos. You just like snapped.
Guess we're on the same page.
Turn back upside down.
Am I upside down?
Yes.
Oh, it looks right side up from where I'm sitting.
No. Alright, you're good now.
Everything alright?
Great job. So yeah, we haven't got to talk recently, but COVID-19 has been an issue. Do you have anything you want to talk about that?
Like that not so subtle eye roll. It's been a bit of an issue. Yeah, I'm just sitting here. It's fine with me, I guess, for now.
Yes, intro to crazy people is pretty normal. I just think everyone's out to get me, and I'm just like, you're too close, man!
Yeah, I don't know.
Hi, my name's Bob. Get the fuck away!
I'm weirded out watching all those videos of the people out there protesting social distancing. It seems,
those people are so dumb, bro.
It's like hilariously dumb, though. Like, it's funny in the way of just like, this shouldn't even be possible. Like, I know that all people are stupid, but like, they just continue to surprise me.
Yeah, it's all just a crazy mess. Who knows? But we're all stuck, which is cool. It's, you know. But how are you? How's your life?
Getting a lot of Revenge of the Sith vibes about how things are going down in the world these days. You feeling that?
More power!
Exactly.
Unlimited!
I mean, I'd love to say at least Sam Jackson's around. He's got our backs, but like, he didn't last very long.
No. Purple lightsabers are awesome. They're the best lightsabers.
They are pretty legit. Oh, not as awesome as this one, dude. Check it out. So you got the green, right? But then you got the Kylo hilt on the opposite side. It's like a double-bladed green Kylo.
That is a bipolar lightsaber.
I didn't know you could connect these things, man. I bought a couple separate ones for my kid, and I was like, oh, this has a connector? Pretty stoked about it.
Very cool, very cool, very cool. That's an amazing lightsaber. I'm so impressed by the size of your saber, Dick.
One day, I'm gonna have a cooler one, and a cool costume to go with it. I'm gonna be like the Mandalorian Jedi from another dimension.
That sounds amazing. How was Clone Wars? Did you watch the Clone Wars?
I've been keeping up. So far, so good. I think there's like 3 more episodes left in this new season.
Great, cool.
And they're getting better. Each one is a little better than the one before.
What about the Tiger King, bro?
Yeah, I saw that. What?
Fucking Carol Baskins.
Yeah, I watched that whole thing. My opinions on it are limited to like, but who's taking care of the tigers?
Bro.
How?
You look like you'd be on the Tiger King, bro.
I know.
Here, bro.
Those kinds of documentaries make me uncomfortable because I know I could get roped into that kind of a lifestyle. Like there were times in my life where if someone would have been like, "Hey, you want to work at this tiger zoo?"
You kind of remind me of that guy who had like the long hair. He's just like, "Fuck, Joe Exotic."
I also kind of just like how the people who were working there, like
this timeline, Rich.
like after they had been working there for a while, like I'm sure they had other options of things that they could do with their lives. Like they could go be a janitor somewhere, you know, but they all still had this mentality. It's like, well, gotta keep working. You know, a whole bunch of crazy shit happening every day. We gotta feed those tigers.
Well, Carol Bastian's definitely murdered her husband. That's all I know.
Oh yeah.
Definitely.
I'm just worried nobody's taking care of the tigers.
Not even a question about it. Because, like, it'd be one thing... It's one thing, like, if there was, like, this crazy tiger man who was like, what? Feed someone to the tigers? That's insane. No one does that. But the fact that there's this, like, crazy guy who has all the tigers and is like, no, this is actually what happened. I know. I'm the tiger king, and I'm saying that this is possible. And then you see in the show that the one person gets their arm bit off in like one bite, and you're like, obviously this is possible. That's only like 5 bites to eat a whole person. Like, give an arm to each tiger, a leg to a tiger, give one tiger the torso, and one tiger the head. That's not even a lot of tigers. And then there was like hundreds of tigers, apparently. Anyway, definitely guilty.
Yeah.
By public opinion. Facts.
Yeah, and like, you know, on the off chance that she didn't, which I think it's a low percentage, but she didn't do that, like, still just generally the kind of person that makes you go like, great, and then back away from slowly as you're smiling, trying not to. I don't know.
She definitely did it. Even OJ knows she did it. It's obvious, bro. Game recognized game, bro.
It's like the worst way to use that term.
Yeah, Joe Exotic's awesome. But I mean, not the bad stuff he did, but the show's crazy. And
speaking of recognizing a game, sorry, go ahead. Finish your thought.
I got no thoughts. What about that Mcmillions? Did you saw that as well?
I watched that whole Mcmillions thing. That between that one and the Tiger King, I feel like they figured out a formula to make documentaries entertaining.
I wasn't feeling that Tiger King. I was like, is this fake? Like, what is this? Is this like a show? But then when I watched it and it was like a real thing, I was like, oh my god, this is super compelling.
Yeah. I was kind of against it at the beginning too. It was basically in the moment where I decided that I was not going to watch this. Was about 30 seconds before I actually started it. That's how I function when it's just like, screw the world. The whole world's talking about this. I'm not going to watch that.
Yeah, I didn't want to either because I'm like an off the beaten path kind of guy. But my wife wanted to watch it, so we watched it.
Yeah, so you just sit down and do it. It's like, well, I'm just going to peel this Band-Aid off now. What else am I doing?
But anyway, back to the Mcmillions.
Mcmillions was crazy. That was just an awesome one.
Tell me the heist.
That one was just awesome because it was like, we all lived through it. We were all aware that this was like, you're never going to win this game. But then, like, had no idea, like, this shit happened.
They really wanted you to win.
Well, like, the FBI, the thing that was crazy to me was, like, the whole investigation and them, like, convicting these people all happened, like, right around 9/11, 2001. Yes. So, like, that explains why we've never heard anything about this story, you know? So it was cool to get all the juicy details that were still, like, fresh and available, but, like, just basically just nobody had asked, nobody reached out to the FBI to be like, hey, what happened here? Like, nobody asked.
Yeah, that was crazy.
I listened to the first episode of that podcast, and that was that was something one of them said on there. Like, we did a Freedom of Information request, and they were like, we've been so excited to tell this story. No one's come to us to tell this story yet. So, like, I don't know why if you're the FBI, you're not just, like, reaching out to Netflix, you know? It's like, well, this case is unclassified now, so, like, we've got it. Check out all this B-roll we got for you, too.
Very cool, very cool.
There's a lot of footage.
How's the Community going? I hear you were watching a Community rewatch.
I went through all 6 seasons, and now I've been kind of just doing like chunks of episodes randomly throughout the day.
6 seasons in a movie?
To get me through.
Who's your top 10 Community, or, top 5 Community characters? Favorite. Top 5 favorite.
Top 5 favorite, in no particular order.
Yes.
I'm going to have to go Leonard.
Oh my god. Off the
Magnitude. Fat Neil. Garrett. You can't leave Garrett out of there. And Dave.
Terrible choices. Terrible choices.
Yeah.
Well,
what's Dave's other name? Like Ski Cap? No, Ski Cap was the guy who sat next to Dave. I forgot what Winger called him, though. He called him by a defining characteristic that he had. I remember he was black, he had an afro, but I don't think it was either of those. He doesn't see the world through that lens.
You go, girl.
You go, girl. Ham, girl. No? I don't know. I just get lost when I start thinking about Community. But you mentioned before recognized Game, and they just started airing that ESPN documentary about the 97 Bulls.
Tell me about it.
It's kind of awesome. It's again, we've been watching too many documentaries lately, and they've gotten so good at making them that I'm like criticizing the editing. Like, why are we jumping back and forth in time so much? Like, started in 97. Like, here's the season we're talking about, but we're gonna go back to Jordan's rookie year for a while, and like it gets you good in depth, lots of awesome footage, lots of good interviews, and then it goes back to 97, and then it goes back to like Jordan's second year, and then Pippen's first year, and then back to 97. Like it was a little jumbled up, but it was still, there was a lot of, I had no idea that they allowed what they called unprecedented camera access to that last season, that championship run. Like, cameras were just following everybody everywhere, so like I'm stoked we're going to see a lot of things that we haven't gotten to see. And in the first 2 episodes, all we really got to see that I'd never seen before was Michael Jordan just verbally berating Jerry Krause on a regular basis. Just constantly making fun of him for being short and overweight. It was like playing into his little man complex, which is why he was kind of a jerk to everybody on the team. Like, there was a constant conflict of like, who should be getting credit for this dynasty, and Jerry Krause really thought it should be him. He had trouble letting the greatest basketball player of all time take the spotlight in his own accomplishment.
No way, man. You gotta go with Jordan.
Yeah, right. Jerry Krause, did you go out there and put up 60 points against the Celtics when nobody else on your team knew how to do anything?
Fail,
like,
bro.
That dude built that organization by himself. Him telling some stories about his rookie season were interesting.
Yeah, the Bulls the best of all time. Number 1.
Yeah, and I'm just stoked that there's 8 more episodes to come from this.
I gotta check that out. What's that on? ESPN?
ESPN.
How are you watching it? On the app, or?
No, I'm just watching it on television.
You heard it here first.
I still watch cable.
Cable's the best, bro.
It's produced partially by Netflix, and I know in certain parts of the country it's airing on Netflix. So I'm sure it will be on Netflix very shortly, but I think right now you can only watch it on ESPN.
Very cool, very cool.
Which is probably on the app.
I watched Wrestlemania, bro. All my people lost. Goldberg lost to Braun Strowman. Brock Lesnar lost to Drew McIntyre. It's no good. All my big, beefy, meaty men slapping meat lost.
They all got beat.
They all got beat. My meat men got beat.
Great.
No, it's
I haven't followed much wrestling.
I had like $1,000 on it. No, I'm just kidding.
That seems like a weird thing to gamble on.
I know, that's why. That's why I joke.
It's like gambling on a sitcom. You know, be like, I bet this week Troy and Abed aren't going to do their talk show in the morning. Give me $50.
Those would be some good bets.
Right? Have to find a very niche betting community there.
Have you been wearing your mask? What's up, bro?
Yeah, I haven't been going out much. The couple times I have gone out, I did wear my mask. I should have brought it here as a prop, but it's somewhere else.
That's good, bro. Have you been washing your hands?
Yeah, I wash my hands. I've gone through food safety training several times, so it's already something that's just been ingrained in me forever. I haven't had to change those habits very much.
Last time we talked, it was kind of before this whole thing blew up. We were telling hilarious stories of people not washing their hands.
Really?
Yeah, you were telling me this story about this guy who used the powder soap incorrectly at your work.
Oh yeah. No, he just didn't use it, and his date called him out on it.
Yes.
Pretty funny. That was a good moment. That shit cracks me up.
Well, it's a crazy world in the hand washing race these days.
It's pretty important. To some people, it's pretty important. Apparently, there are still some people who don't care. Although I did find it weird that all those people protesting the social distancing were still wearing masks and gloves. It's just what? You can't think that this is not a real thing and still be wearing masks and gloves, in my opinion, right?
Oh, yeah.
You're contradicting your whole thought process.
They're just all crazy, you know. Everything's so political, and we just gotta be excellent to each other, you know, and everyone just inspire, lift each other up. You gotta lift up your brothers in the time of need.
Yeah. I hope we can get back to normal before August so I don't miss out on a third installment of the Bill and Ted franchise, because I've been waiting for that my whole week.
They're we're gonna have one screening directly in Rich's house.
That's all I need. But from what I've gathered, there hasn't been any changes to it. They're editing it remotely, so still on track if they're going to allow us to go back to movie theaters ever again, or at least find a better way to let me watch it in my house other than charging me $20 to rent it, because that's kind of lame.
Oh yeah.
I did that with Trolls World Tour, because, I got a 3-year-old, but also because I enjoyed the Trolls movies, although I probably would have never seen them if I didn't have a 3-year-old. So we rented it for $20 for 48 hours, and as I'm doing it, I'm like, this is kind of a ripoff. But then I broke it down with the numbers, and you're still spending less. 5 of us sat down and watched that movie on 2 separate occasions over those 48 hours. So if you think about the cost of going to a movie theater, 5 of us couldn't go one time for $20. One person can go one time for $20. So we got to watch it twice with a big group, and then me and my son watched it a dozen times in between, just hanging out in the background constantly. And then, if I choose to purchase the movie when it comes out, it'll be a total of $40 spent on it. And that's still cheaper than if you went to the movies and then bought it. I'm still saving money on the experience and getting more of an experience for less money. The studios are the ones who's losing money in this, and yet I still feel indignant, I'm getting ripped off by having to pay $20 to rent the movie.
How was the movie?
Oh, Trolls World Tour was phenomenal. It was great.
Tell me about it. Give me a little rundown. Synopsis. Rating.
I can't really give you much of a plot synopsis. It was just music video. It was a wall-to-wall music video, but the music was executive produced by Justin Timberlake again, and they brought on Ludwig Göransson to round out the music production of the film. And Ludwig, as you probably remember, got his start or early work on Community. Then he went on to win an Oscar for the Black Panther score and scored the Mandalorian. You know, like, dude knows how to make some good music for movies. And it's all like catchy pop, funk hits, you know, so there's nothing not to enjoy.
Did you see Onward?
Did see Onward.
What do you think of Onward, bro?
Onward was a nice, deep, emotional cut. Pixar doing what Pixar does. You know, good story, entertaining. Yeah. Sucker punch to the gut that makes you cry for a half an hour.
Yes, very emotional. It got me so hard when he lost that van, Barley, because of my ambulance that I once had, that I know that I loved. So it was really touching for me. But yeah, I thought it was great. Chris Pratt was so funny.
I just didn't see that realization turn at the end where he was like, spoiler alert, but when he was all like, realizing that because he had a big brother, you know, he sort of had a dad, you know?
Yeah. That's
letting him go, letting Marley go see their dad was just like tearing out of my face already. Like,
my wife hated that part. She thought it was such a cop-out. She was like, "What? He doesn't even get to say the damn father! Fuck this movie!"
Yeah, that's what makes it a hard pill to swallow. You know? The whole thing's a hard pill to swallow. Like, that's not how you want a story to go. Like, you got a magic spell that can bring your dad back from the dead, and then you only get his legs. Like, just right off the bat, like, we shouldn't be making this
dick, bro. Dad dick.
I want to know how it even got through development. You know, like, you start reading the script and you're like, legs? You just got his legs? Like, what are we doing with this? What are we doing here? Go start from scratch. Come up with a completely different idea.
You know what it is? It's Weekend at Bernie's, bro. It's Weekend at Bernie's meets like Lord of the Rings, but then also meets like Suburbia at some point. Like, just like I don't even know. I don't know. Coming of age, just like a coming of age, you know?
Yeah. I've actually got the script for Suburbia on my shelf back there somewhere. Yeah. Actually, it might be in a box. So it's a good script.
I was just recently watching the first Toy Story, and that movie is like so hardcore, like heavy metal, so good. It's like one of the best Pixar movies. When I think back on it, I think like, oh, Toy Story, that's lame, that's like kid stuff. I used to watch that movie all the time when I was a kid, and it was like imprinted on my brain. Another fucking Disney Plus thing that's just like, I remember like quoting lines from like that movie, and like I would be like, as a kid, and I would be like joking, you know? I would think I was joking, but I wasn't really like joking. I was just like quoting this movie, you know? And I may have done it like crazy, and people would be like, "Oh, what is that?" I'm like, "Oh, it's from Toy Story," you know? But it's just like so many different lines just ingrained in my subconscious. Because that movie came out when I was like 7. It was like 25 years ago. Crazy, bro. But it's a good movie. It's like so good, and the animation is so good, especially for being like the first like 3D movie, you know. Like I don't know any other movies were 3D before that, but it's the first 3D movie I remember, you know.
Yeah.
And for it to be like as good as it is, I think some of the animation is like better. but only in terrible ways. Like they do texture really specifically. It's like right there.
And that was one thing that was weird for me in watching through that Trolls movie, is that the entire world they live in is like this felt texture. You know, It's like they live in a fabric world, like they're in a felt scrapbook or something, you know, which like is kind of a nice, it's its own flavor. It gives the movie its own texture, you know, but I don't know. It made me think, like, was that like that in the first one? Maybe technology's gotten better so you can see the fine little hairs on the, that's not grass on the ground, that's fuzz, you know, but I don't know. It's just weird. The details that they choose to put into some of those animated movies is interesting. And the way water works is strange too. Like, I just watched the beginning of Shrek the other day. There's a part where he takes a mud bath and he pours like a bucket of water on himself, and the way the water like pours down, like watching it was like, wow, yeah, that looks like 1999 digital effects in a computer animated movie, but it also is still like beyond my comprehension of how could you make realistic looking water in an animated film, you know? It's like, at the time it was probably like, wow, that's amazing, but looking back on it now, it's like, now you got like Moana to compare to. All those movies, like the way all the characters,
was really good in that.
The way all the characters' hairs move around in all of those CG movies these days, it's just like, what is this technology and why? I don't know.
Yeah, there's a cat. There's a cat animated in Toy Story 4 that's supposed to be like super good. Like all the hair on it is like perfect. It looks like exactly like a real cat. It's like super cutting edge. Onward wasn't as much like that, but Toy Story's great though. It's like its own category. It's like before Pixar, you know? They were just like, this is just a good fucking movie. That's why Toy Story is so good. It was like before Pixar, before like Disney, you know, before the big whole fucking monster, you know, it was just like, this is just a good fucking movie. Check out this shit. And it is. It's like hardcore, really good. Toy Story, the first one.
I feel like you got a grudge against the man.
I do. It's like, all you people in up in there in City Hall, you're fucking it up for the people that's in the streets. That's like my anthem. It's like how I live, you know? This is a song for the people in the streets, not the people sitting hall. All you motherfuckers in the streets, it's time to rise up. It's the best, bro. That's what I'm talking about. Rise up, people in the streets. Fuck! Or rap, you know, whatever you gotta do. Hip hop.
Do what you want.
Alright, Rich, it was a pleasure talking to you. I will catch you later.
Always a good time, buddy.
Dyna Vape. For life.
Dyna Vape.
For life.
We'll plug them next week. Can I send us out with a song?
Yeah, who are you, or what's your, like, Twitter? And what's your ID, bro?
I need to come up with some better, I need to get some new accounts.
Yeah.
Justify the volume of followers I'm going to have to carry on, but I think right now my Twitter is @RichieWalt31.
Nice.
I'm guessing I made that one about 3 years ago, so that's no longer my age. I'm sure I have some other Twitters, but I don't know how to connect to them.
Awesome. Tim
Rise, play us out with something emotional.
Puffy, yes, play us out. Play it out. Happy 420. Woo. Oh wait, I got these special 420 glasses I want to show you.
So much for playing us out.
Oh, sorry. 420 glasses. You're supposed to keep playing. These are the vocals on the track.
Do they make everything look super trippy?
They do. Here, I'll give you. I don't think you'll be able to see. Did you see that?
Whoa, kaleidoscope.
Before 20. Yeah. 420. 420. Got the rock. 420 rock. 420 rock. Smoking lots of rocks, but the only way you got no socks. And it's time to get chicken pox.
It's great talking to you. Let's hang out again sometime. Bye. 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 It's still there.
I can't see.